Much that once was is lost, for none now live who remember it.
It began with the forging of the great rings. 3 were given to the Elves, immortal, wisest and fairest of all beings. 7 to the Dwarf Lords, great miners and craftsmen of the mountain halls. And 9 rings were gifted to the race of men, who above all else desire power. For within these rings was bound the strength and will to govern each race. But they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring to control all others. And into this ring he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. One ring to rule them all. One by one, the free lands of Middle-earth fell to the power of the ring. But there were some who resisted. A last alliance of men and elves marched against the armies of Mordor, and on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth. Victory was near. But the power of the ring could not be undone.
Hey guys, Dark Angel Gaming here, bringing you another multiplayer battle. And we've got a bit of a treat in store for you on this one. This is a battle of the Last Alliance. It's a 2v2. We've got myself here, Mr. Gizmo K24. We've got our good friend Hunter, which I can never pronounce his YouTube channel name, so I'll put a link to his channel in the description below anyway, guys. Go check it out, because he does. He's also doing a Third Age campaign and Company of Heroes and all that stuff. Hunter over there is playing as the High Elves. I am playing as the Men of Numenor in this battle. I'm just deploying my army currently. We've got our friend Pedro, who doesn't put up videos, unfortunately, but he does like to play multiplayer battles with us. He's playing as Mordor, and then we got our good friend Music Man 101, who is playing as Mordor with Sauron over this side over here. So we've got the High Elves deploying over here, who are currently doing their deployment. And we're just sort of getting ready to face off against Mordor here now. We've got more epic multiplayer battles which are going to be coming up, guys. We're doing Minas Tirith, the Siege of Osgiliath, and there's going to be a lot more of those coming up. So please enjoy this battle of the Last Alliance, because when we played it, we thought it was absolutely amazing and just awesomely epic. So you need to just check this stuff out. Okay, so I'm doing my deployment currently as the Men of Numenor. So I've got my archers up front. Oh, excuse me, guys. Don't drink Coca-Cola. So I've got my archers up front, my spearmen in back, and my swordsmen here. So they're covering the center part, and then on my left flank I've got 2 units of swordsmen. And then you go through, you've got the swordsmen, spearmen and archers all through here, and then you get down to my right flank, which is another 2 units of swordsmen. and at the back you've got my general unit, which represents obviously the High King Elendil and his son Isildur. So they have three upgrade points to represent obviously Isildur and Elendil. So the High Elves over here, which Hunter is playing as. Let's go and take a look at his army real quick. We've got High Elf Archers, obviously the awesome looking High Elf Spearmen, and the awesome looking High Elf Heavy Swordsman at the back there. So we're just going to go along the lines, and we've got the Archers and the Swordsmen and Spearmen. He's got his general unit over here representing Gil-galad and obviously Lord Elrond, which is pretty cool because he's like by there. And the battle has begun. So let's take a look at the Mordor forces while the High Elves are fighting them. This is Music Man 101's Mordor army. We've got Uruk-hai Archers. I know Uruk-hai weren't obviously in the battle of the Last Alliance, but Mordor has kind of crappy orc forces, so we allowed Uruk-hai to be placed in the battle. So we got lots of orc and Uruk-hai halberd units over here. And obviously we've got the one and only Sauron right here in this battle. So there he is. There's our Dark Lord Sauron, which is looking pretty badass. And you can see there the ring on his finger, which is even just so much cooler. So here we go with more Uruk-hai infantry and orc infantry. A lot of Uruk-hai and orc infantry. So let's take a look at Pedro's army. At the start of the battle, Pedro decided to shift his army towards like making a sort of cross thing, so I couldn't get to the High Elves to give him help. I saw him doing this, so I decided to start to move my army out, and he's just got lots of Uruk-hai halberds, lots of orc halberds, as you can see here, lots of them. There are a lot of forces for the Mordor side on this one. Lots of orc archers, which are here, and just loads more units of orc halberds and spearmen. So I decided to shift my army around because I saw him trying to flank towards the High Elves and make this sort of crossbar, so I couldn't aid them even if I wanted to. So I charged my army up, but he kept moving his army constantly, so I kept having to shift my forces, and I was getting shot at the same time. So I was the men of Numenor were losing a lot of men just having to shift around constantly, which was very, very irritating, and I lost a lot of guys just shifting around. So it was pretty difficult at this time. So I've shifted all my army around, and now I'm finally engaging the orc forces. So we got men of Numenor here. I know men of Numenor was supposed to, you know, the High Elves and everyone was supposed to sort of fight together when Sauron was defeated, but you know, the orc forces sort of got in the way of me getting over to Sauron, as you'll see throughout the battle. So I've sent my forces up to engage the orcs on all fronts. So here come more men of Numenor charging into these orc guys. And this turned out to be the closest battle I have ever had, so I actually finally got my archers up and started firing on him, and then he flanked some orcs into the side of me there, brought more of my archers up. Okay, so let's go and look at Music Man and Hunter's side. At the moment they're just having an archer duel. I don't know why they were doing that, but they were doing it for a little while, just firing arrows into each other before one of them decided to engage. Oh, he has actually been flanked by one of I thought he was flanked. No, Hunter shifted his army around because he thought he might get flanked by Pedro's army, but he never did because I engaged Pedro's army before they got over to the High Elves. So they're just having an archer duel at the moment. So we'll go back over to where the main action is, over at this side, where Numenor are facing off against the High Elves? Mordor. So my guys were just in this massive ball, constantly getting shot by his archers. My archers were constantly firing back. So I had 2 rows two rows of Númenórean archers over here. So let's move back over to this. On this left flank, I did outnumber the orcs and I was winning. Well, but I was constantly getting shot by the crappy orc archers, which was really annoying and hitting me with a lot of casualties. But on this main ball flank, I had numbers, but I was outnumbered by the Mordor infantry. And Pedro had a lot of Mordor infantry in reserve, and he decided to go straight for my archers with those. So he was using this unit to take out these archers, but I moved them back and engaged him with Elendil, my general unit. Excuse me, guys. It's like every video I do. Every video. Okay, so finally on the High Elf side, Music Man moved his orcs in to engage the High Elves. So we got some High Elf fighting going on now. So he moved 3 units against the High Elf infantry, but the High Elf have still got High Elf swordsmen in reserve, and more Mordor units are moving in on to flank these High Elves now. I think Music Man tried a flanking tactic over here to hit Hunter, but he shifted some of his High Elf units thanks to his deployment. He managed to shift some of his High Elf units to stop the flanking maneuver, because Music Man was trying to hit his archers. So he's bringing in these reserve Mordor forces now and trying to hit the High Elves on the flank. He's going for his archers, which are here. I don't know why, like, the archers are the most least important unit. He would have been better off outnumbering these swordsmen and spearmen, because the thing about High Elf units is just they're so high in attack, and they're just really powerful units. You've really got to outnumber them to sort of fend them off. So Sauron still hasn't done anything at the moment. Sauron is, I think, somewhere. Yeah, Sauron's just stood back here at the moment. He's not doing anything. But Music Man's shifting his archers now. I'm not too sure what he's going to do, but let's go head over back to the Númenórean side. So on my side, I just had this massive ball of just epic fighting that went on for ages against Pedro's Mordor force. So we've got all these men of Númenor which are currently fighting this just giant ball of orcs, and he started firing his archers at me earlier on in the game, but then I sort of like got with that tactic and started firing my archers back. My general unit, which this spearman unit's not doing anything. I forgot that they were out there. My general unit is currently just defeated this orc halberd unit that was chasing after my archers. So I thought, okay, I lost a couple of guys in the process, but I decided to sort of move them up. These spearmen were just getting shot because they routed and then rallied again, and I didn't realise for a while, but I moved them back into the battle. So on the High Elf side, once again, the High Elves are, looks like they're low on numbers, but they probably are. Yeah, they are winning this battle because the High Elf units are just so well trained. So these High Elf units look like they're going to flank into the back of these orcs. Hunter suffered the most, had the biggest battle on his right flank, where Music Man tried to flank him. But if you look at the casualties suffered by Mordor over here, look at you got like 2 elf casualties and the rest are like Mordor casualties. It was pretty bad. So these Mordor or Uruk-hai halberds are going to be outnumbered. These units have routed from, where they rout from? They routed from these archers. They got defeated by High Elf archers. That's pretty bad. Okay, so Music Man's still firing his archers. I think the mistake that Music Man made was just doing an archer duel with the High Elves so early on in the game. I think he probably should have just rushed all his infantry in. But we got Sauron. It looks like Sauron fighting now, which is just awesome. Let's just take a look at Sauron for a little bit. So he should have moved. Well, I'm not going to give like my general what he should have done, but in my opinion, I think he probably should have just charged Sauron in with his units. But Sauron's fighting now, but the problem is he's like outnumbered. But he is doing pretty epic. Take a look at him. He's a tall motherfucker, isn't he? So he's whooping ass currently, just smacking these high elves around. And over here, the men of Numenor. The men of Numenor were kind of bogged down by the massive number of orcs that were here on this side of the battlefield. Like, I couldn't push through. Like, there were just so many orcs, and I was losing at this point. I was really down on my numbers, and the orcs outnumbered me by a lot. But I charged my general unit in, and the reason I did this is because I kept using the rally ability, so my troops wouldn't rout, even though they were outnumbered by all these orcs. So Pedro's general unit is like over here or something, so he didn't use his rally ability to stop his orcs from routing. So I kept using it to, if you can hear the horn, I kept using it to rally my guys, so they would carry on fighting, and just hitting them with my archers while they were hitting me with their archers. So it was kind of like this ball was where it was at, and we were both just firing archer fire into each other. On the high elf side, we've still got Sauron. He is still alive, fighting. See, this is what I mean about it being bad when he was outnumbered by all these high elves here. It just would have been so much better if he would have gone in with like a massive group of Mordor infantry. But he is still opponent. At the moment he's just stood there doing nothing, but he like hits one guy and then that guy dies, and then walks through loads of people and they all die. But we are going to do another Battle of Last Lions when we get, because this was a 2v2, but we're still looking for more people to do the battles but bigger. So if we get a 3v3, we'll post it up and we'll just say Battle of Last Lions bigger, you know what I mean? And just you know, because we enjoy here at Dark Angel Gaming bringing people awesome videos, and we enjoyed this battle so much, and it was pretty epic. Anyway, so like I said, on the men of Numenor side, man, I was completely outnumbered and my guys were just dying, but I kept using my rally ability and they stuck in there, and the orcs started to whittle down and rout and stuff, because I kept using my rally and rallying my guys. So they're just bringing in their orc archers, I'm firing my archers. So where are we at now? This is not the high elf side, is it? Nope, I've gone to the wrong way. I went the wrong way, guys, my bad. Okay, so back over on the high elf side, which I couldn't push through. I wanted to push through and fight Sauron, I really did, but it kind of just didn't happen. But Sauron is taking on this group of high elves on his own, just being like what he is, an immense weirdo like. But he would have been better off with a large group of what's it called, infantry. But Hunter has flanked his high elf spearman swordsman into his archers, so he can stop shooting his archers into to everybody. But there's another group of Uruk-hai archers up there. High elf archers are still fighting. This is where Hunter decided to use his general unit. He was like sick of Sauron poning everyone. So our general units had 2 upgrade points to represent, obviously, Elrond, Gil-galad, Isildur and Elendil. And obviously Sauron only had 3 upgrade points. So still on bronze, but still 3 upgrade points. So Hunter decides to move his general in on Sauron. So it was actually Elrond and Gil-galad who fought Sauron in this battle. But on the Numenor side, I just couldn't push through, and by the time, like at this point in the battle over here, by the time I was able to sort of start whittling down the orcs, I had like literally my general unit and about six guys left, spearmen, swordsmen and stuff. So we're currently fighting Pedro's general unit and engaging him. So got my general unit here with Elendil and stuff. Archers are just having this epic archer duel constantly. Like my archers were just firing at his archer was just firing at mine. It was so close. Like, I'll give you an example once we go back over to the high elf side real quick. So Sauron is still fighting, but actually he's running away now. Oh yeah, this is where he broke. Oh no, I think Music Man is choosing to march him over there. I have no idea why, but I think he chose to try to back up his Uruk-hai archers over here, but no, I thought he was running him away even more then, but no, he chose to just try to back up his Uruk-hai archers for some reason. I do not know why. Hunters, that's not his general unit, that's just his some high elves which are going to march up on Sauron now, because we were talking throughout the game and the hunter was just saying how much Sauron would refuse to go down. So I can see that, like, if you look, he's just not going down. So if we go back over to the Numenor side, and I'll show you what I mean about how close just the end of this battle was. So if you look at this massive group of dead here. So the battle finished here. I managed to kill Pedro's general unit, like, by the skin of my teeth, by using my rally ability constantly. And this, sorry guys, and this is all I have left of my infantry, out of all the infantry I took. This is how close it came. Like, my general unit 11, these guys 8, and these guys 19 guys, and that was it. This is all the infantry I had left, and the only reason I managed to beat Pedro in that massive ball of orcs over here where all the dead are is because I kept using the rally ability with my general unit. If my general unit would have died, which I'm so glad that he didn't, but if he would have died, I definitely would have gone down. My troops would have fled. But the men of Numenor stood strong, and I currently, at the moment, I'm just shifting my archers because we were just constantly having this archer fight over here. So let's head back over to see what's going on the high elf side. Sauron Sauron is still fighting. Man, he really won't go down, will he? But he's fighting like pretty much everything that Hunter has. Hunter's just moving in his archers and everything now, because I think he was at this point getting annoyed that Sauron wouldn't die. Man, peoples of Middle-earth better thank fucking the shit out of Frodo, man. Imagine if this guy would have come back. Alright, anyway, so he's refusing to go down, and over on the Numenor side at the moment we were just still going over this constant shooting at each other. Pedro's orc archers and my Numenorian archers. Actually, and then one of my archers ran out of ammo, so I decided to charge him because I was just getting sick of getting shot at. So I just charged them in close combat, so they were just charging in now. Sauron finally has been defeated by the High Elves, as you just saw then. He finally got brought down. I charged my archers into close combat with these orc archers, and then they routed. They just routed straight away as soon as I. Oh no, they marched first and then they routed, because they're like very tired, and I just charged my archers in, and they routed. And on the High Elf side, you've got Hunters remaining, last alliance of the High Elf army. So when Sauron was defeated, it was pretty much representing obviously his finger getting cut off, even though his finger wasn't cut off by the High Elves. So this was our epic battle of the Last Alliance, guys. As you can see, men of Numenor just chasing down these orc archers, and this was our version of the Battle of the Last Alliance. I hope you enjoyed it. We loved to play it. It was just awesome. We came away from that battle just thinking, oh my god, that was super awesome. So look out for more awesome multiplayer battles that we're going to be doing through Dark Angel Gaming. I really hope you enjoyed this battle, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.